Hi folks, thanks for joining me here today. I was inspired by a friend who has injured herself um, to do a flow that took a lot of pressure off of the feet. So that's what I was going to do right now. It still requires you to put a little bit of pressure on your feet, but the pressure's off, so to speak. Your knees, if you need a little extra cushion under your knees, go ahead and get yourself a blanket, a towel, something else, fold it up and have it ready for under your knees. So if you need a little extra there, then you already have it near you. So we'll get started in child's pose. Go ahead and move to your child's pose. We're going to be staying pretty close to the ground, which is also really stabilizing. So this flow has more than one benefit, hopefully, for you. So we're right near the earth. And in your child's pose, big toes touch, knees are wide, sink down and back with your hips. Forehead touches the earth. Feel that grounding. Feel the support. Feel everything that touches the mat. And start there. Then, the flow of the breath, the air moving in and out. If any of these poses don't fit your body, skip them, take a variation, whatever you like. But don't skip awareness of breath. It really is key to have a great big awareness of your breath throughout your practice. So no matter what shape your body is in, by which I mean which shape you place it in, your breath moves. When you need to rest, you rest. Take a deep breath in. Exhale it out. Hands and knees with an inhale. Come on up. Wrists right below your shoulders, knees right below your hips. Cat-cow. Inhale into cow. Cat with your exhale. And keep moving through your cat-cows. Not sure why we don't call this cow-cat, but, you know. Inhale for cow. Exhale for cat. One of the things I love about this right near the beginning of a practice is that it's a great way for me to really synchronize the breath and the movement. And I add little organic movements, maybe my hips, maybe my wrists need a little something, so I point my fingers backwards. Maybe I need to bend my elbows. There's lots of different things to do here. Come to a nice long neutral spine. All right. Excuse me. So you'll notice that the way I have my feet, I'm on the tops of my feet. If for whatever reason you need to flex your feet and be on your toes or tuck your toes, you can certainly do that. All right. Spinal balance. Reach your right hand forward, thumb up, left heel back. Look down at the mat. And sometimes I say these things because I need a refresher. I want to look forward, but then notice the kink in the back of the neck. So look down. Inhale and exhale. Cactus the front arm and bring the back leg to the side for an awkward airplane variation. Reach back out. Now move to your awkward airplane. Back to center. Variation of awkward airplane. Center. Awkward airplane. And center. Back to all fours. Second side. Reach your left hand forward, thumb up, right heel back. Bird dog or sunbird. This has several different names to it. Reach through the back heel. Reach through the crown of your head. If you find yourself sagging down, engage your core muscles and your shoulders. All right. Awkward airplane variation. Back to center. Awkward airplane. Ooh, look what I just did. Back to center. Variation. and center, awkward airplane, back to center, come down to all fours. And now thread the needle. So from your hands and knees, stay up on your knees if you like, or move back to a child's pose. Lift your right hand up, thread the needle down and through. I love doing this when I am on my knees, but if a child's pose feels good, sometimes that really feels nice. Your left hand can reach forward. You can spider the fingers like this. You can reach really far forward. You can bring the hand to your lower back. You can reach for the right hip. Lots of variations for that arm. Breath in, breath out. Switch sides. Lift that right hand up. Drop it back down, second side. Left hand lifts. Down and through for your thread the needle. And don't forget, there's lots of variations you can take here. I'm loving the spider fingers. It gets me something in the bicep tricep region, as well as in the shoulders. Breath in and breath out. Make your way up and out of that one. Back to all fours and child's pose. Bring your knees a little closer in this child's pose. Go closer to embryo. Now I'm going to go through what will be our sun salutation or vinyasa for this one. Since we're staying off of our feet, we don't want to put any pressure. We don't want to come up to stand. So we're going to stay low. Again, grounded, rooted down. So inhale to hands and knees. Exhale, knees, chest, chin. I had to scoot back there for a second. Knees, chest, chin. So your rear end sticking up, your chest and your chin touch or nearly touch. Cobra, slide forward, lift your chest. Child's pose. A few more times. Hands and knees with your inhale. Knees, chest, chin. Cobra. Child's pose. Again, hands and knees. Knees, chest, chin. Cobra. And child's pose. One more time. Hands and knees. Knees, chest, chin. Cobra. And a child's pose. Feels good to me. Hopefully it does to you too. And if it doesn't feel good to you, do something that does. Breathe. All right, now we're going to move into what is essentially our sun salutation B, which is adding on only a little bit. But again, you take what's right for you. Hands and knees with your inhale. Knees, chest, chin. Cobra, hands and knees. Step the right foot forward for a low runner's lunge. This is a warrior one variation. Reach up, come back to your hands and knees. Knees, chest, chin with your exhale. Cobra, hands and knees, second side. Step your left foot forward, low runner's lunge. Inhale up to your warrior one variation. And then hands and knees with your exhale, knees, chest, chin. Cobra with your inhale. And child's pose with your exhale. We'll do that one more time. We're just warming everything up, getting a little bit of blood moving, getting a little bit of breath coordination. All right, one more time. Hands and knees. Knees, chest, chin. Cobra. Hands and knees. Low runner's lunge, right? Warrior one variation. Reach up. Hands and knees. Knees, chest, chin. Cobra. Hands and knees. Second side. Warrior one variation. Reach up. Hands and knees. Knees, chest, chin. Cobra. And child's pose. Now we don't go all the way back into our child's pose during that, because getting all the way back and then all the way forward is a little bit different from coming up to your hands and knees. Now, if you want to do it that way, you're certainly not going to hurt my feelings. Breath in and breath out. All right, hands and knees. Low runner's lunge on the right. Step your right foot forward. You can keep your hands framing the front foot if that feels okay. Or here, I'll get my blocks that I knocked over earlier. If you want to use blocks, you can place the blocks and lean on those in any shape. Sometimes that's really nice because you can push down with your arms and take a little more pressure off the foot if that's your touchy foot. You can put your hands on your knee. Make sure that knee tracks over the center of the front foot. It doesn't matter if you go a little bit further ahead, and I know I'm unorthodox to say that, but if you're tracking right, there's nothing wrong with it. If you like, you can inhale, reach up. All right, we're going to move into a twist here. Drop the right hand down behind you. Left hand lifts up. You could choose to look over your right shoulder. And then we're going to move into a radiant or peaceful warrior. Windmill the arms. You can look up and back. You can look up at your hand, down at your back foot. Then windmill the hands down. Knees, chest, chin. Cobra. Hands and knees, second side. Low runner's lunge. I know we were here for a few breaths before, so I'll try to even it out a little bit before moving on. Again, you can use the blocks if you like that. If that's okay, and you want to try hands on your knees or reaching up with your arms or cactus your arms. All right, from here we're going to twist. Drop the left hand down behind you. Look over your left shoulder. Right hand reaches up. Now, if you choose to look back, don't lift your chin up really high. Keep the back of your neck nice and long. That helps our parasympathetic nervous system, our rest and digest, activate. Radiant warrior, switch sides. Left hand is up, right hand is back. And you can have it black here if you need that for stability. Inhale. And vinyasa through. So windmill your hands down, step back, knees, chest, chin, cobra, and child's pose. All right. We're going to do that little flow one more time. And this time, instead of staying anywhere, we're going to flow through one breath, one movement. So, hands and knees with your inhale, knees, chest, chin, cobra. Hands and knees, low runner's lunge, right side, warrior one variation. Twist it, drop the right hand, radiant windmill, and then vinyasa, knees, chest, chin. Cobra, hands and knees, second side, step the left foot, your warrior one variation. Twist it, drop the left hand, radiant windmill open, and then vinyasa, hands down. Knees, chest, chin, cobra, and child's pose. This time really land in your child's pose, knees wide. See how it feels to be you right now. Check in with your breath. You should be a little bit warmer from all that movement. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Hands and knees. All right, side plank variation. We're going to do a gate pose on the right. So wonk, I think that's the technical term, your right leg out towards the side. Move onto your right hand, lift the left arm. You can keep that left foot down. You can raise it if you like. You want to try something different, you can maybe take that foot behind you, throw a little back bend in, or grab the toe and extend the leg. Or just reach. Again, with the just. I always say the word just, and I need to get that out of my vocabulary. Because what may seem like just to me may seem like it's oversimplifying to someone else, and I don't want to do that. Breath in. Come back to center, second side. So right to the second side, bring the left foot out. Come onto the left hand, right arm lifts up. Foot can stay down for stability. You might reach it up. You might catch that foot behind you. Tiger variation here. You might catch that toe and extend the foot. You might try something and see that it doesn't fit you today. Totally cool if it doesn't. You just come to the shape that's right for you, that does fit. One more breath in. And then your vinyasa. So knees, chest, chin, cobra, child's pose. Check in with how you feel. Hands and knees. Low runner's lunge on the right. Keep the right hand in the instep of the right foot. Lift the left hand up. If you want, you can walk that left leg behind you a little bit. This is an extended side angle variation. If you want, you can come up with your elbow on your knee. If feeling all the way down here doesn't feel quite right to you. If you want, you can wrap that top hand behind. Breath in and breath out. Now from here, we're going to go into an Utthita Trikonasana, triangle variation. Straighten that front leg. You might want to lift the front toes. Roll the chest open. You might reach the fingers up. Breathe in. Breathe out. One more inhale. Bring that left hand down, frame the front leg. We're going to move into a half split. Right? We're almost there anyway. As much as you want, you can lean forward, or you can choose to use the blocks, one on either side. Whatever feels right to you, that's the way you do it. From here, we'll move into lizard. So shift your weight forward, bring both hands to the instep of the front foot. Back knee is down. That front foot can reach over towards the side of the mat, and you might roll the foot open a bit. Personally, I like to go down on my elbows. If that's not accessible to you, stay where you want to stay. I think my mat's moving. Whew. So I'm going to do this. That's what I call a wobble. And so now that I brought the word wobble up, I use that word a lot in practice and now even in life, as I was talking to my son the other day about something that he perceived as having gone wrong. I just said, that's a wobble. So what happens when you're balancing and you wobble? Maybe you fall, maybe you step down and reset. There's lots of choices. But then from your wobble, you've learned something. Even if you don't think you have, but you have. All right. So from here, if you're not up on your hands, come back up to your hands. We're going to go through a vinyasa. So step that right foot back, knees, chest, chin. Cobra and child's pose. Second side, step the left foot forward. We're going to move into that extended side angle variation. You might choose to bring that right foot a little bit over to the side. Left hand on the instep of the left foot. Reach up. You might reach over, you might reach up, you might reach behind. You might come up onto your elbow with your, come up to your knee with your elbow, that is. Again, it's okay if your knee goes past your ankle. I know I'm unorthodox there, but as long as the knee is lined up. If the knee's not lined up, then that's when you might have an issue. Breath in and breath out. Triangle variation, straighten the front leg. I'm going to scoot my heel out and lift my toes. Lots of different ways to do this. Find the one that feels right to you. The idea is you're rolling open here. If your top shoulder doesn't love this, bring it down to your side. Drape it behind you. Bring it to your waist. Lots of options. Breath in and breath out. One more inhale. And now we'll go into that half split. So drop that right hand down, frame the front leg. Bring that right foot back behind you, straight behind you. See how it feels to be you right here, right now. Because you know what? There isn't any other you. That's all there is. So notice it, feel it, be it. Dare I say, even try to rejoice in it every once in a while. Lizard. Shift your weight forward. And choose your own adventure here, right? There's lots of things to choose from. You might be on your hands. You might use the blocks. You might be on your elbows. If you're like, hey, I'd love to have a twist, how can I do that? Bend the back knee and move into a twisted monkey. You might press that left knee out. You want to throw an arm balance in? You can fly a split here if you like. However, if you're not really an arm balancer and you have to keep your pressure off of your feet a little bit, I might think twice before doing that, simply because if you do need to reset, I wouldn't want you to exacerbate any injury by placing the foot down a little bit too rapidly. Breath in and breath out. One more breath here. Let it go. Make your way up to your hands. And we're going to go through one more vinyasa. Step that left foot back, knees, chest, chin. Cobra, child's pose. Come up to your hands and knees. Come all the way down onto your belly. And then we'll move into Sphinx. Forearms and elbows down. If you like, you could move your feet a little bit further apart. So rather than dumping into your shoulders like this, push the earth away with your forearms and with your elbows. Now when you do that, you really feel that grounding in your arms. So take advantage of that, like really acknowledge it. If this is cool and you want to move into a seal, you can go ahead and move into a seal. Notice in both of these, the crown of my head reaches up and out. So the back of my neck is long. I'm not cricking my neck up. I want to keep my spine nice and long here. Inhale. And come all the way down. Makarasana, crocodile. Move my feet a little closer. Stack my hands, forehead right down on my hands. And rest. Just stay right here for a couple of breaths. Breathe in. Breathe out. Make your way up to your hands and knees. Swing your feet around. Lie on your back. Supta Baddha Konasana. Soles of the feet together. Knees are open. If you like, traditionally, one hand on the belly, one hand on the heart. Or, something I really love, is for a little extra grounding, bring your arms by your sides. You could cactus your arms if that feels good, or bring them by your sides, palms up in a gesture of receptivity, palms down for even more grounding. Breath in, breath out. Full inhale, and a full exhale. Bring your knees together, hug your knees into your chest. Hands behind your knees. Rock forward and back a little bit. Come up into Navasana, boat. Lots of options. Without putting a lot of pressure on your feet, you can balance yourself with your feet, or you can lift and keep your boat tethered, or you can let go. Full boat if it's in your practice and you want to try. Sometimes I really love to bring my arms out to the sides because it lets me get a lot of opening across the chest. Just stay. If you want, you can go into a low boat and then a high boat a couple times. Just see what feels good to you. And cross your feet at the ankles, hands down next to your hips. Lift yourself up. You don't have to catch air. The idea is just to push and then come back down. And we'll move into a Baddha Konasana. Down to angle. I'm going to turn slightly to the side here. So soles of the feet together, just like we were lying down before, only we're seated, not supta, not reclined. Soles of the feet together, put your thumbs between your feet, open your feet like they would be a book. When you open that feet, you'll notice the knees are able to drop down just a little bit more. And if your low back is tweaky in this, move the feet away a little bit. Inhale, lift your chest, and then fold forward and down. So, When you fold into your butterfly, and you're not flapping by the way, you might choose to bring your hands to your ankle, keep them on the feet. Something else. Forehead doesn't have to reach the feet. That's not the point. The point is just to reach out and open. And then you breathe. So this pose, I don't do this one in classes all that often because people tend to get really visually focused, we'll say, on their feet. This is the pose where it's really easy to get distracted and say, oh my gosh, my feet are so dirty, or wow, look at that, or whatever. You know what I'm talking about, right? So the challenge here, for not just you, but for many people, and for me, is to stay in the sensation and not get caught up in the visual. If it requires you to close your eyes to do that, close your eyes to do it. Breath in and breath out. All right, make your way back up to seated and then back onto your back. We're going to do a reclined rock the baby. If you want to do a reclined figure four, you're welcome to do that. Bring one ankle to your knee for the reclined figure four, and if you want, you can bring the opposite leg up. So you're opening across the knee. If you want to do a reclined rock the baby, just hug, again with the just, hug that shin in and stay. Now rock the baby. Sometimes we like to move side to side a little bit, just see how it feels. After a few breaths, maybe you can hug it in a little further, maybe not. If at any point your knees start yelling at you, listen to your knees. You only get one pair. I like to keep my opposite leg bent here. It gives me a little bit of extra grounding on my lower back. But if you want, you can straighten. Breath in, breath out. Let that foot go, switch sides. Whether you want to do a reclined figure four or a rock the baby. And listen, you can do one of each. If one side requires a reclined figure four and the other one is like, let's do a rock the baby. What's the problem? There's no problem. You know, maybe a reclined figure four works better on one side than the rock the baby does, but you know, vice versa on the second side. Now, that doesn't mean that one side is better or worse than the other. They're simply different. And it's something that many, many, many struggle with, including myself. This is my good side. This is my bad side. They're just sides. You know, if you're in this and you want to give yourself a kiss, you can do that. Why not? Breath in and breath out. Release that foot, whatever you've taken. Maybe bring both feet down and windshield wiper your knees. Ah, it feels really nice actually. And then I'm going to rock up to seated. Extend my legs out. Seated forward bend. So for seated forward bend, the backs of the legs are long. So if you can, press the heels away and pull the toes back. Then inhale, reach up, and then fold forward and down. Now, you could catch your toes, your feet, your ankles, your knees, your shins. Another thing I knocked over earlier. If you want, use a strap. So why do we use a strap? We use a strap because it makes our arms longer. That's it. There's nothing wrong with using a strap or blocks. They really are wonderful tools to make each pose more accessible. So the idea here is the crown of your head reaches forward, not necessarily your knee to your nose and your nose to your knee. So you reach forward and out. Breathe in and breathe out. Come back up to seated. Roll down onto your back. Hug your knees in. And let's take a gentle twist. Drop both knees to one side. And you can do any variation here. One leg could be straight, the other bent. You might throw in an extra hip flexor stretch. I have my arms cactused just because that feels good to me right now. Come up through center to the second side. And if you need to readjust on your mat, readjust. You can come all the way up onto that side body. And if this side requires something else, you can totally take it. So for example, if I want a hip flexor stretch on that side, I might grab the foot or use the strap to grab the foot. Come back to center. Hug your knees in. Forehead to meet the knees. Give yourself locust. Shavasana. Final rest. So I've been saying in classes, and I mean it, otherwise I wouldn't say it, Shavasana is a pose. So take the time to really set yourself up in your Shavasana so that you can really rest, so that you can really relax. If that means that your knees are bent and your knees knock in towards each other for support, you can do that. Or place a rolled up blanket or towel under your knees. Or if that doesn't work, you could roll up onto your side and lie on your side or on your belly. The idea of the pose is not in the shape that you make it in your body. The idea of the pose is the sensation. And the sensation here in Shavasana is to relax everything. So if you find yourself in Shavasana and you find yourself tense, and you find yourself unable to relax, then change it. And then rest. You have the ability here in Shavasana, if you like, to pause the recording and to stay as long as you like. Let everything you've done soak into your bones. And then when you're ready to proceed, you can start the recording up again. Take one more deep breath in. And exhale it all the way out. Bring gentle movement to your fingers, to your toes, to your ankles, and to your wrists. Bend your knees. Place the soles of your feet on the mat. Ever so gently roll to your side. And pause here for one more moment of rest. When you feel ready, push yourself up to a seat. In any way that's comfortable. If you choose, you can bring your hands to heart center. You can take Anjali Mudra, Hridaya Mudra, Lotus Mudra, whatever feels good. And take one more deep breath in together. Exhale it all the way out. The light in me sees, recognizes, and honors the light in each one of you. Loka samasta sukhido bhavantu. May all beings everywhere be safe, be happy, and be free. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. Thank you so much for joining me today. Hopefully this gave you a few different ideas of how you can adjust your practice when you don't feel like putting a lot of pressure on your feet. And it doesn't just go for your feet. The point is, you can make your practice fit you no matter what. No matter what. You can find a practice that's right for you. Today, here, in this body, the one you've got right now. The one you've got right now. Because this is the body you're living in. So enjoy it. Rejoice in it. Again, thank you for joining me, and I hope to see you again soon.